Hey everyone.
Heads up our bead shop, bead table design team. It's so great to have you back.
It's wonderful to be here.
Well,
I love this place.
We could not
I
do
love it.
so many of these things without you. It is so great to have you.
I am a kid in a candy store, a bead store.
Well, it is kind of fun.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
It is.
And so we thought for a little change of pace, so we'd have a lot of room today. We're out in the big studio, not in the Facebook Live room. So you get a little bit of a different view. You can see, look, there's hammers behind me. Look, I love that. There's beads behind me. There's all kinds of tools. So we're in the studio space, so you guys can see that. I'm going to make sure that I can see everybody here. Everybody is on and watching and up and running. I just want to make sure. There we go. I just got our notification. So there we are. Great. Alrighty. I can see everyone. I know that Janice is going to be over on our YouTube channel doing some moderating. And our Gita is going to be on as beadshop.com on our Facebook feed. So there we go. All right, that's it. Bye, everybody.
We're done.
We're done.
That's all she wrote.
Well, it is so, we're going to have so much fun today. We're going to talk about a bunch of different things. But first, I wanted to mention, I know, we've been getting a lot of new viewers, which is great.
Big audience.
Yeah. And I know that you, watching at home, see new names and stuff pop up. It's great to have all of you new watchers here. So I wanted to give you guys a heads up. If you go over to our website, beadshop.com, all of these things, including this wonderful lookbook. And Allie, you worked so hard on it. We're going to go through this page by page. You did so well. It was so good. That you'll be able to download this and see this. It's up now. But everything that we're going to be talking about, the project, a lot of the products that we use, all of that stuff it's all on our website, beadshop.com. So if you're watching this later, if you're not watching this live, watching it, weeks later, months later, even years later, you can go right to our website, beadshop.com, click on the live broadcast, Facebook Live button, and you'll see all of the projects and everything archived there. So you'll find it. Well, it's great. We have people from everywhere watching us, our bead table. Everyone is jumping on. Everyone is so glad to see you.
Oh, it's fun to be here and do this.
Yeah, it's so great. And you guys behind the camera today and taking some photos is our wonderful webmaster, Karen. So you will see Karen and you'll hear Karen. Brandon's camera is super silent, but Karen puts out the big camera. So
yeah, she's
taking
guns.
a good photo right now, even as we speak.
I know.
So
she does.
She does. Photos. So we'll be seeing her also, or hearing her camera a little bit. So that's what we've got. We've got so much, as I say, so much to share with you. And we're going to talk a little bit, the way this broadcast is going to go. We're going to talk about the lookbook. We're going to jump in right away and take a look about that. Then we're going to talk about some of Allie's must-haves for tassels. And we'll also look, as you can see, we've got so many samples out here. I brought a couple of things that you can look at. I've got a preview of a couple of things that are going to utilize tassels that you're going to be able to see. And then we'll jump into one of Allie's pieces, this loop tassel. We're going to talk about how we, meaning you, put that together. So it's great. I think it's a great utilization of the dragon scales, which sometimes, frankly, stump me a little bit.
Yeah, and we don't use those very often. And
it's a great way to utilize them. So that's it. Everyone is saying hello, and it's great to see you, and it's great to have everybody here. So I'm going to, and I want to preface this a little bit. Allie saw me do this earlier today. So I've been working on this 2-camera shoot, right? So I don't have to move this camera around. I'm going to have to move the camera around today, but you guys, I'm so close. Allie saw it.
It's close.
It's coming. So close. It's coming. I was working with it with the switcher.
Yeah.
So I'm so close to 2 cameras that soon I won't have to walk the camera around the table. But today, I'm going to have to do it. So let's get it moving.
It's a production.
It is. It's production. So I'm going to step out of the shot for a bit, move the camera around, and we'll get this show on the proverbial road. So, tassels, and I'll chat while I'm doing this a little bit. Tassels, I'm going to keep talking. Tassels have really been a big feature in our design world, I think, for a really long time. And if I can get this camera, sorry you guys, if I can get the camera undone. Hey Karen, could I get your fingers here to undo this? Because my hands won't do it. Sorry everybody, I just need you to to twist that off. Please, I'm going to trade places with Karen.
I don't know if the lavender will...
Slippery.
There we go. Thank you ever so. Karen's
just take the
got
whole
it.
thing?
Yeah, I just need that off because I need to take the camera off. Thank you. There we go. Thank y'all. So tassels have really been in our design arsenal for a long, long time. And there's so many ways to make a tassel and create a tassel. And so today we're going to share some of our favorites with you guys. And I hope that you'll get a lot of inspiration to create your own. Now, Allie, how did this lookbook talk? I don't even remember. I'll be so honest. I can't remember how the lookbook even came into
I'm with you.
into view here.
It's been a while. It's been going on for some time now. I think we just decided to do a challenge and draw some of our bead table members in. And the great thing about this is that many of the people that submitted tassels are people that do not post on the bead table. So this is some of their first works. And so that's exciting.
And so I know we have so many really beautiful pieces in the book.
Really different.
And so I'm going to just move this around and we can look at the cover. There you guys. Thank you for sticking with me there. And we can just, you know what?
Do we need this?
I'm going to get rid of these guys for now.
We don't need it.
So here it is. Here we go. The Beadshop Design Team Group Challenge Beaded Tassels. Here it is, you guys. It's gorgeous. Now, we do have, as I mentioned in the preview for the show, we have a whole bunch of lookbooks. And, Karen has worked so hard. Well, we all have, including the design team was really great in helping us figure things out for the new website. But Karen has worked so hard getting the new website up and running and easy to navigate and all of this stuff. So she put everything over on beadshop.com. If you go to the website, obviously, beadshop.com, and you go on the top navigation bar and you go all the way over to projects and you go down the little pull down menu, you'll see Lookbook Collection. And if you click on that, you'll see all the lookbooks that we have. Now, Allie has done 3 of these for us, which, oh my gosh, your generosity does not end.
More to come.
But you can see the Beaded Tassels, the design team, the first design team lookbook, and a year of monthly mix wrap bracelets. If you have not watched the year of monthly mix wrap bracelets when Allie was here the first time, that, I'll tell you, that was an epic broadcast.
We had fun with that one.
It was really fun. It was fun. So you can download all of these, you guys. But this is the one we're going to be focusing on today. You can see Janice's great logo.
It's the first one with the actual logo now, so it's branded. We have, which is really exciting.
Great.
Yeah,
it's really great. So you put out the challenge to the group.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so what did you say? What did you say? Let's see.
Well, you can pretty much read it on the top paragraph. It's not a contest. We didn't want to do a contest. We didn't want to be competitive in this. We just wanted everybody to just share.
Right.
And this was an easy project where people didn't have to go to extremes in getting materials. They could use a lot of leftovers that they had. simple type project. And so we just threw it out there to see if anyone wanted to, show some of their work.
Yeah.
And also just learn and just jump in. So that's what we did.
Yeah, and it was I really want to commend everybody for, sometimes it's, if you haven't put a lot of your pieces out there, or if you haven't, shown your work.
Yeah.
It can be a little intimidating.
It is intimidating.
Right?
The first time for sure. And I think once someone does it, they realize it's easy and it's not a big deal.
No, and I also want to say a big thanks to you, because I know, Allie, you coached a lot of people with their photographs and got really encouraged. You were the driving force behind
it's not
this.
easy to take those photographs. And here, no, it is not easy. Right. I mean, she does a wonderful job, and it takes a long time of practice to get it down. So,
well, you did.
We understand that with newbies trying to photograph their pieces.
Yeah. Well, you did such a great job. I'm going to try and get this kind of straight. So this is Jeanette's pieces. Hers. We'll just start. We'll go
just
through.
started. I don't think it's in order.
In order of.
I'm not sure. It's
anything.
Yeah.
But you guys can see on the lookbook when you download it, all of these, and Allie went through and linked. So all of the ingredients are linked. So you can, if you use all of this on your PDF, on your tablet or on your computer, these are all links that you can just click on and it'll take you right to the product, which I can't even. It's so good. So Jeanette, I don't know if you're watching. If you are,
she is.
Hey,
she might be working.
She might be. It's really great to have this one just start off. And she has two. One is called Opulence and one's called Midnight Cornucopia, which are great. Looks like she used some of her things out of her stash.
She did.
And then I love this. Just A-dots.
Yeah.
All the same.
Yeah.
A-dot root beer lined. Beautiful.
Just lined them up and made it thick and lush, and she did some kumi up here.
Oh, she did Kumahimo, my nemesis.
Mm-hmm.
So she just posted a couple of things on the bead table using Kumahimo.
She had just started getting into that.
Yeah.
So
I've got to get down to it.
Yeah.
Now Michelle asked Allie, and I'll ask you, who came up with the names? Of the pieces.
Each member named their own pieces.
It's
right.
great.
They and they took their own photos, named their own pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's really great, gorgeous, and these can be used now in a variety of ways. You can put them on a necklace now. You can decorate your house. You can do all kinds of things. This was just to get some tassels out there, so there's no ulterior motives with these. So here's Lynn's and Deborah's. Now, what I love about this one is that this one's called Vintage Flight. She used Irish wax linen. Good job, Lynn.
Yeah.
I really love it.
Different concept, but it works.
Yeah, it really does. And this living coral, I love how Deborah also laid it out this way so you could see the tassel legs.
It's a great way to photo.
This was Janice's
early on mix.
Yeah, a mix.
Was it January?
It was January's, I think. Her living coral mix.
Right.
And it's just all she used was that mix to make this, and she used KO. And then it says here, tassel is topped with a peyote stitch bead cap. Really great. Yeah. Really, really cool.
That was very creative.
I love it. And then I feel like I'm reading to a class. And then let's see what happened. The next thing. This one's called Seymour Lake. And Lorraine, I'd like to know what Seymour Lake means to you. I love the sound of that. And Verde Circulo. Here from Melanie. Melanie, I know you're watching. You're watching
Is she
over
on
the YouTube feed. That's
okay,
awesome.
Good.
Both amazing. What did Lorraine use? What did she string
The
on?
Ocean View monthly mix.
Smart.
I don't know if we even put down.
No,
Fireline.
Fireline.
She
It's
put
great.
it, but she did use the monthly mix on that one.
And again, she also used dragon scales on the bottom. It's perfect. I love them. And then this guy, and we're going to talk a little bit about using some big hole beads and things for stacking like this, which is good. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then Melanie, your piece is here, macrame flat knot. Great job. And you used, Melanie, Ceylon. All regular Ceylon, which is great.
And Melanie did make a note that she wasn't sure where she got the pie. She thinks it's from several years ago from Beadshop.
I don't know if we have...
quite a while ago.
This is... right, it's a stone pie. It's...
yeah, she thinks because she doesn't remember getting it anywhere else, and she wasn't sure, though, so we didn't put down that it was.
But any of our 40 millimeter... pie will work for this. It'll be beautiful. It's great. I also love how Melanie, you connected all of the Ceylon here. My guess is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you cut all of your pieces and then everything came up through the pie and then back down kind of like a lark's head knot.
That's what it was
my
like.
guess, right? And then there's some silk wrapping going on here, and then the tails just come down, and they're ready to be embellished with the seed beads.
Looks
which
like
is great.
it.
Yeah, I love it. And then the bail, this macrame bail, completely just a really great idea to use it. Very, very pretty. I love it. And I love the way that these gemstone pies in the 30 millimeter and the 40 millimeter are great for a great jumping off point.
Yes, absolutely.
So I love it. Great. Yeah. Here we have a couple more. And again, all of you guys named these pieces. It's really great that you were so... we love naming our pieces.
Oh.
It kind of gives
you kind of have to.
Yeah,
you can relate to it. It becomes, a member of your family.
Oh, that's right, of your jewelry family. So now from Judy and from Donna, both of these are fantastic. This one's called Take Flight. I love the way that Judy used this Green Girl focal. It's not one that we carry, but I really love it. We carry other Green Girls that are so good, but it's a really great, that's, where she took the name from her Follow Your Heart bead from Cynthia's. Really great. I also see, Judy, that you put a clasp here on the top, which is great because it makes this completely convertible, right? So you could put that on a chain.
You could, just clasp it right on there, clip it on. You can use it for so many other things.
Yeah, it's really great. And I love how you can see
she looped hers,
did some loops
as well,
and then some that hang. So there's 3 different lengths of the tassel legs. These loops, these shorter loops that again, dragon scale, and these long daggers. I know a lot of you have some of these daggers in your stash. It's a great way to use it.
Pretty.
And then Judy also strung this on Fireline. Great. I really love it.
Yeah, we had a couple on Fireline.
Yeah. And I love the color palette of this. I love the black in here. And then this guy, Donna, here you are. A big bead cap. Perfect. for tassels, right? Bead caps.
Absolutely.
Really look good. And that's from her stash.
And she used the cornucopia mix. So a lot of mixes got used in here.
And then the Ghana glass mix, which was also good. Some of the Matubos. The crystal bead. That's where this one's from. The crystal bead from my pearl mix. Nicely done. And then this is pair of wire vintage bronze and 18 gauge. And then my guess is I don't see the stringing material on here, but you could definitely use Ceylon for this, right? It would be just fine.
You absolutely could.
It'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's turn the page. Oh my gosh. Here is a page of Kitty Kester. Look at this. Blue veiled flower, waiting for the wind, and embellished tiger lily. Also beautiful. And I love, Kitty, the use of color that's on here.
Lots of color.
Yeah. And this focal using this what do we call it? The hibiscus.
The hibiscus flower.
really ties this piece together and gives it, I don't know, gives it a direction, right?
Yeah,
I
and the
really
colors
like it.
just flow right to it. So.
Flow. And again, a nice luscious tassel. More macrame up there. This one looks like it was maybe the tassel top was stitched. Brick stitch, maybe?
There are gold connectors in between, and then she strung through them.
Okay.
If you look on it, you have to blow it way up, but and then threaded the crystals on.
Right.
And then
I see.
Then it comes down
all the chain comes down from there.
Right.
Right. So the chain is all connected.
It's all connected in here for all the tassels.
It's really great.
Yeah, they're the gold. It looks like gold beads, but they're actually like a connector.
So
to give it its round shape.
Oh, so it's like a round circle.
Yeah,
I see what you're saying. And then these come in between. Nice.
Strung through.
Nice. And then this chain is our simplicity chain.
I believe it is. Yes.
And then just as many briolets as this tassel will hold.
Lots and lots.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. Gorgeous. And Donna does confirm it was Ceylon.
Perfect.
Okay. Donna, I love that sassy little tassel. So cute. This one, Tiger Lily, embellished Tiger Lily. So the cat focal pendant was from Kitty's stash. And then I love how the tassel kind of, goes
almost a
long.
chevron.
Yeah, that chevron kind of look to it. It kind of tapers down and then tapers back up. Really beautiful. Really nicely done.
Yeah.
I like these. Great page of Kitty Kester right here.
Yeah.
It's great. So what have we got here? We've got, and these are still our bead table members. We haven't even gotten to the design team yet, you guys. The design team is coming. I love this piece. Both of these, from Debbie and from Karen. They really look like a collection.
Yeah, I
right?
tried to keep them, colorway the same on the pages. But
they look great.
But they do go together.
They
well.
really do. Now this one is strung on fine Ceylon.
Ceylon.
Again in beige. And I don't know if you guys can see. I'm going to get kind of tight in here so you guys can see this. I think this is super clever. My guess is here's a wire. It's come around. We make a big wire wrap loop. It'll come up through the cone. But can you guys see how half of the tassel legs have been strung and the other half are just thread?
She left a mess around.
I really love it. And then it was silk wrapped here. This, I think, is a great marriage of the beads and the textiles really coming together. I think this is great. And this is a mix, again, the Age Tide Pool, which is the 8/0 age check, right?
And I think she had some Padres.
Yeah, popcorn Padres, beautiful. I just think it's great, and hanging from the square connector, gorgeous. And then this guy over here, this is Karen Ward over here. This really beautiful pagoda serpentine
vintage find
piece, vintage find, gorgeous. And again, it looks like it was wire wrapped. And then the tassel legs were connected there, which is great.
And she used KO
for the thread. Really gorgeous. Beautiful pair of these guys. Teresa's saying these adapted to be sold to high-end interior design companies to hang on drawer knobs. It's so true.
It's great.
It is. It's really, they're so fancy. So let's see.
We're still going.
More bead table members.
We did. We got a good turnout.
I love it. These are also tassels after my own heart. Kathy and Christy. Kathy, you used an old school beading or wire working technique that's super close to my heart. This Coochie coil, which I adore. We'll have to do this on a Beadshop Live. It's so fun and easy to make. And then she used the 0.5 millimeter leather, just perfect, and just put through and wire wrapped. I mean, silk wrapped rather.
Yeah, and
gorgeous.
Just strung on all kinds of beads. That's why she named it Everything But the Kitchen Sink.
It's really great. I just love it. Really beautiful. And then, Christy, you used the light copper Ceylon And you have this copper ring in your stash, which is great, and these blue beads in your stash. And again, that lark's head where you bring all of the threads together.
So easy.
Underneath, and then just string the tassel legs on them.
Simple.
Yeah, really gorgeous. Spicy denim. I love it.
Very pretty.
Really good. Yeah, aren't they good? Michelle's saying everything but the kitchen sink is fab. It is fab. They're so fab. I want all of these together. Now we get to the design team. Here we go, design team. Let's get this. So as you guys know, as you guys have seen, Danielle Wicks, part of our design team, you see her post on the bead table a lot. They're so different, but go together so nicely. It's gorgeous. Calming Flow. This one, it looks like she peyote stitched a tassel top.
Yeah, she did a little bit at the top on both of these.
And then the legs from the peyote stitch, she wove in, right? And they come down from that
tassel
becomes
part.
a tassel. It's really...
And just use seed beads.
Yeah.
Very simple materials.
Yeah. But look at this ombre, the color blocking here.
It was the yeah.
And then the different sizes. What did she use? These are 4mm matte African turquoise.
Oh, at the bottom.
Yeah. Can you guys see? I'm gonna really zoom in on this, and when you download the lookbook, you'll see it. But this guy, they look like drops because she added the color.
Way it,
Really good.
The way she has the.
I love it.
Seed beads.
Then this one is Summery Golden Tears. Again,
it's kind of similar.
Yeah, KO thread.
But a double decker almost with the little, it looks like a little skirt.
Right, little skirt. I love it. And again, what did she use? KO thread, the galvanized gold, and she had those crystal AB drops.
Yeah,
really
she
pretty.
Had out of her stash.
Yeah, and you could use. We've got a lot of those check glass drops.
The drops.
That would look really good.
Would be great.
Yeah, really gorgeous. And then Rainy April. This looks
the
like
mix.
The rain boots mix, the gift with purchase. And I'm trying to remember if Danielle was the originator of that color palette.
Danielle Potts, I believe.
Danielle Potts, right?
It was
the
a
other
Danielle, but
it was. You're right. Our other Danielle.
Yeah.
It was her her photo that she put up.
Right.
And I pulled a mix from that from a giveaway.
You made the mix.
I loved that mix. So I don't know.
Yeah, I had rain boots in the photo.
It was
with
so,
yellow.
So cute. I loved it. So it's called Rainy April. This large hoop is from our product line. Rain boots mixed. The fire polish is here. The Nebula Wasabi, which goes throughout. Big shadows in antique silver, which are here. And then she also used
the wax linen
and the walnut. And the wax linen really becomes a design concern here, part of the design, because it's showing. It looks really nice. I love this tassel. I love it. Isn't it nice? Everyone wants the Rain Boots monthly mix. We might, and I think it might be. I might have listed it somewhere.
I think the ingredients are on the blog.
On the blog, I think so
so
too. Yeah, if you go to the blog and search Rain Boots, you'll find it there. Yeah, it was a good one. Our Kim Golias, there she is, from the Beadshop design team for the Love of Purple. Joy, she also did. You guys are so good with your bead caps. They're so good.
Make their own.
Yeah, it's the Pastel Bordeaux Super Duo, and it looks like it's a stitched cap, and then just a whole bunch of the Sweet Pea monthly mix.
Yes,
that's what I'm seeing.
And then she took the color off of that.
Gorgeous. And again, the ring, a 6mm soldered jump ring. So it doesn't have to be a real fancy component ring.
No.
The soldered ring looks
simple
great.
And plain.
And then what did she do here? This one is called Harmony. It's leather.
She used a leather. This was one of the first ones she made. It kind of blew me away.
So good. I'm going to get real tight in on that so you guys can see that. That looks like it is leather that is knotted around there. Kim, I know you usually watch this on the replay because you're hard at work. You guys are working at this time. But, gorgeous. That knot is beautiful.
I think this tassel was what brought the whole idea. Remember, I sent
That's
that
right.
to you, and I said, "Hey, wait a minute, we got something going."
We've got something. That's right. That's right. You emailed me and said, "People
I think
are
that's
making
how
tassels."
it started.
Yep. Let's pull this stuff together. Yep. Oh, it's really good. Kim, we're gonna have to FaceTime. I'm gonna have to know how you made this so I can share it.
Really
Kim
cool.
came to our bead retreat last year, but this year she has a conflict of plans, so she won't be there. But I will be excited to see how that came through.
Yeah.
Now this one is called Percy, for persistence and perseverance, as June is MG Awareness Month, which is a cause, I guess, close to our Dria's heart. And she used one of our little charms, our snowflake. We did a thank you when Dria was raising money for MG. We did a little thank you, and the charms were part of that thank you. So that was very nice of you to add it. And she used the teardrop bauble chain in antique copper. Really great,
really cute
use of it. I love it.
And then sort of doubled up on the rings too. I like that idea.
Which I really like. She used the 6mm antique copper soldered jump ring and the mini hoop. Really clever, Kim.
A little different.
Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love it. So I know Jackie's commenting incredible creativity. It is so true. It's really great. Here is, nope. Here is page 1 of our Faye. Faye, these are just, you're killing me. They're gorgeous.
She did.
This one's called Bali. And again, the colorway, terrific. It looks like, and Faye, you painted this bead.
It's a hand-painted bead, a wooden bead.
So good. We have these similar beads that are plain,
and someone could do that,
and you could paint your own.
You absolutely
really great. I loved this etched metal ring. And then Faye, it looks like you used the Ceylon and fine, brought it around, knotted it, took it all the way through your hand painted bead, and then just went to town on the tassels. And it looks like the tassels are symmetrical. I think it's got those. It just really lays beautifully. Then this one over here, Black Orpheus, the medium hoop in antique copper. The Maya mix, which was Karen's mix she did a while back. Gorgeous. And then it really, really highlights
the micro macrame.
Really great. Really, really good. And I really love you use these horn beads from your stash, which is great. The spiral macrame down the center. This one's just gorge. I love it. Really gorgeous. Now, next we've got another page of our Faye.
Faye got into tassel making.
So good. So good.
They're really good.
I love them all. More Maya mix. And then remember how Janice and I, when we were doing her curated box, the homecoming mix, or the homecoming project, we did kind of that figure 8 with these Ashanti saucers. That's what Faye did there. Really, really nice.
Like that.
I love it. That one's called Out of Africa. This one, I love this. Sansa would wear this, even though I have not watched Game of Thrones. I do know that. I do know that reference. I've got it. This is the we used for the
earrings.
Coin. Yeah,
the earrings.
That earring.
The brick stitch.
The brick stitch, which really is gorgeous. I love it. Antique copper gilding matte, one of my favorite seed beads. Some of the rice, the green rice. And parawire. So really, really beautiful. And I love when we use when we use the Ceylon for this, how people just kind of let the Ceylon
just knot it.
Do the talking. I love it. Another one with more micro macrame. Looks like it was all started there, macrame, and then the tails were just tasseled. Really gorgeous. Ceylon and copper rose and Caribbean blue beads from the family reunion mix. Those monthly mixes, you guys,
I think
are great for tassels.
They are.
Yeah.
They really work perfectly.
Really
with
work
tassels.
good. And now, let's see. And I think Faye's here. Faye, you're over on the Facebook Live feed, I think.
She should be on
Faye
Facebook.
was on. I think I saw her on here earlier. I think I saw her.
She said she was going.
Yes, she's keeping quiet. I don't know. Maybe she's keeping quiet. But Faye, you're amazing. It's gorgeous, gorgeous. And then, last but certainly not least, are Allie Morey. And Allie, you brought yours.
I brought the tassels because that way
we can really look at them.
I don't know what happened.
You guys, and any of you, I mean, you can, anyone, it's really an open invitation, but you're always welcome to come on with me. If you're passing through the Bay Area, let me know. I'm always looking for someone, for all of you all to come on. It would be great. So
I don't know what happened to the other one.
Oh, it's over here. Sorry, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I have
Okay, so we have these in person.
So here's protection, balance,
okay, so
and renewal.
This is balance here.
Right. And that's balance. This one's protection. I'll keep it in the thing.
And so I sort of got into, with the vintage finds and kept them all sort of themed. And just to show you how you can use the vintage finds. And did a little bit of the macrame.
I'm going to get a little tight on this. You're
I don't know if you can see it.
You also did macrame.
Just a little bit, added some beads in there.
I'm going to hold this up so you guys can see this.
Flatten it out.
This, now the seal, you used also Ceylon.
Yeah, I'm a Ceylon person.
And you used the regular and antique gold. I'm going to get this right up here so you guys can see this. I love it. You used this, the square knot vintage find and kind of looped all those through, knotted them, and then just started, I've been looking at a lot of macrame lately, and not to say anything against this, I love it, and I've been looking at those big 70s wall hangings, right? That kind of are made with like giant rope.
Giant.
This is kind of that
it's that feel,
that same technique. Completely stood on its head.
I loved making those.
I loved making this too. And look at how delicate, and so it's the same technique, but it's just so refined and gorgeous. I love it. I love it.
Just something a little different. And use the coins.
And
keep it all flat.
Letting the Ceylon do its thing there, right?
Yeah.
Then you came in, you used the knot, the flat knot, and then just let them go.
Yeah, it's like there's two strands, and then just split them out just to give fullness to the whole thing, and echo the coins at the bottom.
It really looks great. And this could then be connected necklace here. You could, macrame up. You could do whatever it is.
A lot of different
you wanted
ways.
to do this. I love it. Yeah, you guys are, everyone's loving this. It's great. Let's look at protection.
Now that was when I gave a sneak peek, I think, on the bead table, so people had already seen that one. But
now I think this is this elongated bicone.
I love those.
I love these too, and I think this is something that people don't realize, that you can use it this long way.
I tend to take something and turn it always just to be a little bit different, but you can. Yeah,
I just love it. And so your threads come through, then you've macrameed down, then it's gone into
all the way through
the piece.
And then you could even run more threads through and create more macrame, or you could even do a wire, put some loops on it.
Right, and go up to the necklace. Now, one thing that I also use this piece for, and I might have it in this necklace, we'll talk about this in a second, I also use this kind of closure as a button.
Absolutely.
Closure.
A toggle.
As a toggle. So I'll make a beaded loop, and then that beaded loop will come over. My beaded loop's a little bit small, but that beaded loop will come over, and it'll be the closure. So something like this is a great bead for doing a clasp as well.
I love that bead.
So now, and it comes through, this bead's a large hole bead.
I love those,
right?
Yes.
Don't discount the need for large hole beads in your stash. All comes down, another large hole bead with this soft-sided square, and then just down with the
because you can use a lot of strands of regular Ceylon. It can be quite thick, and that gives you substance.
2, 4, 6. So you had 8. So you had 4 long pieces, right? That resulted in 8. Just gorgeous. Gorge. I love it. Then renewal. And Janice said, oh my gosh, this is an old school one.
Yeah.
That double fish. It's true.
I love that from the... I actually got mine at the Bead Retreat.
Oh, you did?
But I think you had them.
We had some at the trunk show, yeah.
Right.
And they were a bead that we used to carry, but they are long gone.
I love that. Yeah.
Long gone now. But again, beautiful use of the seal-on. And can you see how Allie just put the seal-on through? Wrap it through. Add your beads here. Bring it through these large hole beads, and there they are with the tassel legs. You used the serpentine donuts.
I did. A little splurge there. I used, I think, 10 of them.
Yeah. Can you guys see how this was a doubled strand that came... Was it a doubled strand that came down?
It may be. I'm not sure.
Oh, no.
It probably just regular.
It's a single strand.
Yeah, it's regular.
Single strand comes around here, comes back through, and ends there in knots. So clever. Oh, Gita's saying she still has 2 of these fish.
Oh, she's
in her stock.
She's very fortunate.
Yep.
Really.
Hoard those fish.
Yeah, I have 1 left.
Yeah. These fish will not be seen again. They're so good. I love it. And then these fish, the fioche, have a little hole right up here, and you can
connect it
to there.
into your necklace piece or whatever.
Just gorgeous. These are just terrific. Yes. I love them. And then we've got the pièce de résistance. We talked about how to make and use a tassel component. Now, Allie, of course, brought that tassel with her today. And it's the tassel, if you go under projects, so under the Facebook Live project today, the lookbook is linked. But if you go to, on beadshop.com, the projects page, and you go to, let's see, let me tell you exactly where it is. If you go into projects and you just click on projects, you can see you can scroll down to tassels and it's there. Or if you just click on projects, loop tassel will be in the #1 position, and you can click on it and you'll see all of the ingredients that Allie used, plus a nice close-up, one of Karen's nice close-up photos. So I love this piece. I love it. And you did kind of a la Janice, your editorial notes on this, which is great.
It's like an a la Janice,
for
sure.
So talk to me a little bit about this piece, because people are done listening to me. They want to hear from you.
Well, this tassel started out as trying to find a use for dragon scales way back when. I mean, how long ago was that? Maybe last year sometime? I don't know. It started out doing that. So I first completed the tassel. And if you see on the page that this tassel here is not exactly the same tassel as it ended up. So don't be afraid if you make a component to, take it apart and redo it if you need to in the end. Just sometimes has to happen. But it was pretty easy to put together. You just string your beads in a loop.
You're right. And so all of these, can you guys see how
there's no knotting it or anything to do?
There's just loops here, just like that.
And you tie them all onto a wired loop, a wired wrap,
a wire wrap loop.
And string them right up through the large hole beads until you get to the top. And this one's kind of hard to see because I concealed the wire loop inside.
Oh, inside, probably right in there.
It's concealed. So you can actually hide it all with large hole beads. And I keep a huge supply of large hole beads in my stash because they're so useful.
They are, and the roller beads, this is one of the roller beads that we used.
It is.
And the thing that I really like about this, and you guys can see, I'll kind of isolate one of these again, is that see how the loop is here, and then see how Allie reduced the bulk of the loop so it goes down into some 11/0. So when it's hanging, you can see the bulk of the tassel is here, and then it goes reduced a little bit more, so it fits nicely into that large hole bead.
So you can snug that wrapped loop up inside. You won't see it.
It's really, really great. And the ingredients that we used, and I got this list, And you can see, this will kind of vamp us into, oh, thanks, Karen.
There it is.
She used a bunch of really great stuff, and we have this listed. But these are kind of must-haves, I guess, in your collection.
Keep them in your stash.
So what thread did you use with this?
I think I did use the KO, on this because I think you want it supple. You want it to drape. So the KO is definitely a must.
And the KO you can always use doubled because it's such a thin thread, which is great. It's really, I think, a great one. And the KO comes in a lot of different colors. The KO that we put on for this project is dark gray, but you could use any KO color. You're not going to see it,
right? You will not see your
KO that works. Now there's also the wood carving bead. That's that one. Now this is part of our Vintage Finds collection. Now if you guys aren't familiar with our Vintage Finds, Vintage Finds we have a vendor that we've been, I don't know, buying from for the last 30 years, and he no longer imports beads, and has just, when I go to this old dirty warehouse, and we get really old, dirty and sweaty, but we unearth some things that have not seen the light of day.
Oh, let's see how different it is then.
For years, yeah. I mean, and the colors are different. Sometimes the sizes are different.
Right. Wow.
But I just love this piece. So that's the wood carving serpentine there. You also used a medium round, or at least we substituted the medium round for it.
This probably came from the bead show.
From the bead retreat, I think so.
But this will work fine. Any of those are going to work.
And this is that serpentine medium round.
Medium. That looks like the medium.
Yeah, but you could also use like a stack. I'm just looking at these guys here. You could use a stack of the serpentines.
And that's what I brought. You could even use stacks of
the Ashanti saucers.
Yeah. Or even this type of thing, stack them together.
Right, the jade rings, those would all work.
Yeah.
Our Vintage Finds, I think, are really great for doing tassel toppers and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So then you also used the pony beads, and you used the pony in brass.
I did. Now that was when I was making the original tassel. Now that's what I removed in the end, but that is what I used here. Because again, a large hole to
push everything
up inside and hide the connection.
Hide your knots. You also used matubos in the 2-aught. Now we, the one that you originally used, Allie, they have, I don't think
that's a favorite.
That's a finish that we just cannot get.
Oh gosh,
anymore.
I love that one.
I know, it's I can't remember what that
I don't know
was.
either, but no.
But we subbed this turquoise green travertine.
Absolutely.
Which, it gives it a little more of a pop.
I think, it's
which
totally
is great.
fine.
But you could use any of the matubos there. You could even do a big contrast and use like the red nebula or something like that you could use. Now, you used also the dragon scales.
And the dragon scales.
Used the metallic mix. And the O beads, right? And you can see the dragon scales add a lot of texture to the bottom. And then the O beads are just up at the top here.
Right. So you just sort of line them all up together to give them,
give them some visual weight.
Yeah, exactly.
Really gorgeous. And what I love here about the dragon scales is you used an 11-aught, the nickel-plated seed bead, to add some space in between.
Space them out a little bit.
Really good. And then
just fill in.
Yeah, the antique copper 8-aught seed bead, and this metallic khaki iris. Two of my favorites.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong.
And good.
The khaki iris is what you're seeing here in the body of the tassel. But all of these metallics go together really beautifully.
Yeah, just keep that type of thing in your stash, and you can just grab it whenever you need it quickly.
And then we also have eye pins on this. You could connect everything to an eye pin. And
you
bring
could,
it up.
yeah. You could do an eye pin or make your own. Wired wrap loop. Yeah, either or works.
Now you have a bin over there of some of your favorites. I'll take this and I'll clear this away. what are some of your must-haves for tassel making?
Okay, well, a couple of, just as examples of things that you can use. Some of the great vintage vines to use as the topper.
I'm going to get you a little pad here.
Oh, grab that.
There we go. Right. And you talk about those. I'm going to grab something from in the Facebook office.
So we can use some of the vintage vines as the topper, just like in here.
And then you use that guy there
and
too.
Use that guy. Those are always good. Some of the large hole, I think this is a, I don't know what that is. Jade ring, jade barrel. That's what it is exactly. These are what are these called? I don't even know the names of these. Sand cast. It's like a cast bead, right?
Is it sand cast? Sand cast.
Sand cast for this.
Yeah.
Okay.
I love those guys.
Yeah. The jade rings are always useful, and again, you can stack them. They have the large hole. You just stack them together. Those are always helpful. Again, here is one of my favorites is the keep away.
Oh yeah,
I love this bead.
It has such a big hole.
It has a great big hole. It's very tribal looking. I know it's a new bead. It's not a vintage. It's not a vintage. Right. But it looks that way. It's good for tribal designs. Love that one. I think that's probably pretty much it. Oh, and the other one you can use is one of the jumbo king shadows. Has a really big hole too. So that one works really well. And
really nice.
Yeah, that I think pretty much are some of my favorites. And my other favorites to use for the tassel parts are just the Padres.
Yes.
I think the Padres work really well because of their variety and the size and the shape, and they just lend a really good feel to the tassels.
Yeah, and the color, I feel like the colors on them they do kind of have a vintage feel to them,
and you
for
can
sure.
You can pick the colors apart, and do color blocking even. So those are just some quick and easy
ways
to do it
do for your tassels. Yeah. I want to show you guys a couple of things, a couple of techniques that I think, and I've shown you some of these before, but I just wanted to do a couple of quick little demos for you guys, and then we've got a few more tassels that I want to share with you. But I thought that you guys would want to see, I've got some seal-on, this is the regular seal-on, I've got some, this is 1 millimeter or 1.5 millimeter leather, and I also grabbed some wire. We've talked a lot about making that wire wrap loop for our tassels, and this is going to give you guys a little bit of a sneak peek for next week as well. Okay, this is a technique that I use a lot when I make tassels, and I'll show you. These guys are coming up next week. Next week on Beadshop Live, we're going to do some memory wire. These are Janice's that she did. But again, we still have tassels on the brain. So this will be like a little bit of a preview for that as well. But it'll also show you guys how easy it is to make things out of your own stash. Now, remember how we talked about, let me get a little bit closer in there. Let me pull these down. There we go. Remember how we spoke about using wax linen, and a lot of you used wax linen on your the pieces that you used in the lookbook. Can you see this little tassel that Janice has embellished the end with? Just super simple. The Padres and natural, the natural wax linen, and that's it. You guys, this is one thread and one bead. I mean, look at how darling that is. And this tassel here is made kind of, may I have one of the ones that go through the big bead? Yeah, one of that guy right there. I'll take that one that's in this one right here.
Oh, okay.
Can you guys see how these are really made in the same way, right? I know they look completely different, but see how with this wax nylon, or wax linen rather, comes up through a loop. Here, Allie's Ceylon comes up, and instead of silk wrapping, she's used beads to hold everything together. And then it comes through the fish. This way it just comes through the loop, back down through the beads, and then down. So the and knotted at the end. There's knots here and there's knots here. The technique, you guys, is exactly the same. It's just how it's applied. Okay? So really, really easy. And I'm going to go over this particular one next week on Beadshop Live for next week. Okay? But it's the same way that it's put together. I did want to show you guys, though, the knot, if you wanted to play around with this. And you've seen me do this before. I've got some big 1.5 millimeter leather, so you can kind of see what it looks like. And I don't know, hand me something like, I'll take these guys, because the holes are pretty big.
Yeah.
And you'll be able to see these. So when you're making the knots on your threads, and that's the knots that Janice used on the ends of hers, you can make either an overhand knot, which looks like, I'm going to cut a little piece of this leather off. So I've got it. So you can do just a simple overhand knot, which is a loop. Let me get in frame here. Which is a loop, and putting this through like this, and tightening it. Now, when I put this piece of leather down like this, can you see how there is a kink, kind of? It doesn't go straight through, which works fine, which is good, comes through, and you can see here how it just sits right on there. And you can just do another loop like this and set it through, and you're good to go. What I do, though, but see how it sits a little wonky, right? Just a little. Now, Allie, I don't know if you do this. I'm sure that you do. I come or not, whatever.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. I know I do it sometimes too. You can go through. You can make your loop, and you can come through once,
Twice.
and you can come through twice. So see that there? There's my little loop, and I'm tightening. See how when I tighten, that loop comes together as a little figure eight? You just let it come together as that figure eight. Slide it, and see how it gives you a little double, a little...
Looks better.
Yeah, just a little... Well, it looks different. I don't know if it's better.
Yeah, I think...
It gives me two little...
More substantial.
Yeah, two little stacks on one side, and the other side has a little X. All right? So then, when we're putting this on, like so, you would do this again. Through, once, and twice, and just walk it down. If it doesn't sit exactly where you want it, that's okay. But just push this little loops down, and tighten and pull. And so you can see there, when I lay this down, you can see it looks like the cord is running straight through rather than at an angle. Okay? So that same loop can be done. It's a little less noticeable with the Ceylon, but again, once and twice. And see how when you do that doubled knot, it kind of wants to go into that little figure eight. So just let it do that. And there's your nice, it gives you a nice fat knot. A nice fat one. I'll get it a little bit tighter. Now, if you need to make a loop, or a knot rather, that's a little bigger, I'm using my wire cutters and not my thread snips, but if you want to make a knot that's a fat knot, right? And I know a lot of you might do this, and I did this too for a long time when I was a little girl growing up and sewing. Finally, my gran told me, she goes, Katie, this is how you need to do this knot. So I know a lot of you, to make a knot fatter, you tie a knot, and then you try and tie another knot on top of it, and you're like, okay, wait, and no, it's kind of to the side, and then you're all, wait a minute, no, I'm going to get the two of those together, and I'm going to tighten it up again.
Oh
so
gosh,
what you have is, right, we've all been there. We have this long chain of little knots that's not holding anything.
Nothing works.
Okay. So what you want to do as my gran would say. She would say, honey, don't tie that little chain of knots. Those little knots aren't going to hold anything. Why am I trying to use the right tool, Richburg? Use the right tool. Let me see. I know what's in here. My
Sorry,
snacks.
you guys are going to see a flash.
Oh, there we go. That's okay. So to do your knots, do like my little gran would say. If you were sewing with her on a hot summer day in Gilroy, this is what she would tell me. You make your loop, and just like I did before, pass that through, and let's pass it through again, and maybe pass it through again, and we're going to do it maybe one more time, and we're going to test it, and we're going to see how big of a knot that makes.
Yep.
So then, see how it just wants to go into that figure 8. We're going to tighten it up. And we're going to go kind of slowly. We don't want to pull it too fast because we want to let all of those little strands of the knot come right together. Can you see that? There we go. And I'm going to tighten it up there and tighten it up there. Let me get this kind of tight so you can see it. So that gives you a nice fat compact knot that would pass Gran's muster. Okay, so instead of that little group of long little knots sitting one next to the other, you've got a nice fat knot. That's the way to do it there. And you can do that, as I say, with the seal-on. It looks great. And use your thread snips. Okay, use the right tool. Okay, so my gran will be very proud of you. Think of Rose when you do this knot, right? She'll be very, very happy. Now, the other thing I want to share, you have the other one, Allie, that has the wire wrap underneath, right? We've hidden the wire wrap under a big old bead.
This one?
Yeah, that guy. And I'm going to show you guys for next week as well. Janice made this other, this macrame, you guys, you're gonna love it. It's so, so good. Yes, Beth is calling it the rose knot. It's true. It is the rose knot. That's what we'll call it. She'll be very happy. Wherever she is in the vast great beyond, she is knowing that we're tying the rose knot. What Janice did here for these tassels, and I think it was, who was asking about, was it Mary Ellen? I think it was Mary Ellen who was asking about these, what to use with her scraps of of Chinese knotting cord.
Yes.
And I said, hang on to those scraps,
right? Because
we're going to be using
using
these, and they're tiny little tassels and they're tiny little scraps. And so Janice made these tassels. My mom just said, how come she never showed me that? Gran must have showed you that, because that's where I learned it. I know she showed me that with the sewing thread. That's so funny. My mom is also an amazing seamstress and quilter, so she has a lot of tricks up her sleeve that you guys have seen already. That's so funny. So, but this Chinese knotting cord here, this is the Chinese knotting cord. Janice, chime in here. I think this is maybe the 0.4 millimeter, maybe, that you use, but you could use any of the scraps in this tassel here. So I want to show you how to prep the wire, because this will be a little prep for next week. All right. I went to our wire stash while Allie was chatting. I just went to our wire stash and I grabbed our wire stash bag, which looks like this, right? So I'm not planning anything. And I've pulled out 24 gauge. Perfect, right? You could use 22. Janice, I can't remember what you said you used, but 22 gauge would also work as well. But both of these are great for wire wrapping these tassels. So to make this wire wrap loop, and you can do this. Janice said she used the 0.5 Chinese knotting cord, so that's great. But you could use the 0.5, you could use, I don't know, you could use whatever it is. Yeah. Those of you who follow me on my social media are seeing that I'm doing a lot of spinning, yarn spinning, not spinning on a bike, but spinning with yarn, making a lot of yarn. So you can use any of your textiles that you have at home. Yarn, ribbon, yarn.
How about embroidery?
Embroidery floss, right? The scraps from your Ceylon. All of this you can use to make tassels. So I'm going to first start this wire wrap, and then and I have right here also another little tassel here, and we'll talk about that in just a second. Janice said she used 22 gauge on this because it had to fit inside the cap. So 22 gauge is a little bit heavier than the 24. So I'm going to go with the 24 gauge just because it's here. Okay. And so if you have your nylon jaw straightening plier, which I didn't grab from the desk, so I'm just going to use my fingers to straighten everything out here. Sometimes I do this, I'll be honest, right here. I do this, and I do it like this, like you guys do as well.
We all do that.
That's right. Right, it's real time. Yes, Geeta's pointing out it's the Tour de Fleece. That is correct. I am spinning for the Tour de Fleece. You can see that over on my social media. It's going real well. Some of you may remember last year when Janice went to the Maryland Sheep and Wool Festival. Oh, yeah. She bought me a lot of fiber, and I am spinning that. I'm spinning that stuff up. It's pretty fun. So I come in, and let me get kind of close. I'm going to get close here so you guys can kind of see this, okay? And I'm going to get kind of close into here. So there's many ways to tackle this, this technique, and I'll do it again next week for you. But you want to make a loop of the wire that's going to fit whatever textile or chain even, right? Any of that stuff. Any of that you want to put in there, you kind of want to tailor the loop to be that size. You also want to tailor the loop so it's not too gigantic, right? Here with this cone, we can see we've got some room there, but this loop actually might even be a little too large for what I've got. And then of course for Allie's piece, this hole on this guy is pretty big, so you want to make sure though that it'll go up into the bead. And this is just the round nose. This is the ergonomic round nose that we carry here at Beadshop. We also carry the red-handled, the classic red-handled round nose, which are the round nose pliers, the German ones that I used very early on, which I love them both. Janice is very partial to these kind of ergonomic pliers because they fit really nicely in her hand. I'm really partial to the red handled because, I don't know, it's hard to stop using the tools that you started with, right? So we make our loop, and then if I were using bits of chain, I'd link on the chain here, or if I were using some, I'm just going to use the, hey, Care, would you, or maybe I can ask Jordan, hey Jordan, are there some little chain scraps that are in the chain scrap bin? Something that's not too big and not too small. Look at how she's bringing me the whole bin. That's the best. I'm going to grab, I have a few minutes, so I'm going to grab, you're the best. Thanks, Jordan. Look at that. Look.
Perfect.
We've got some of that.
That's perfect.
And we'll put in some of this. All right. So let's just make this up as we go along. We have a little bin of chain scraps too, so let's get a few of those on here. So if you were using chain, I would just put on some chain, and I don't know, I would arbitrarily guess, right, Allie?
Yeah, just
whatever.
Estimate
it. We'll put it on, but this is all pre wire wrap. Let's make them a little graduated a little different. This one is Simplicity, I think, is what I'm using. Just again, out of the scrap bin. I feel like we're on the red carpet, Allie, with Karen's.
Yeah.
Snap. You could also double your chain over like this and just put it through one loop, and then you get 2 legs that way.
That works.
That also works. I'll clip this.
Great way to do it.
And then maybe I'll have, you know what I should have done is put this heavyweight chain in between so it wasn't on the side. So let me put 2 legs of that and cut. And I'm just using the wire cutters, being very careful when the chain link cuts not to have it fly up into my head or Allie's head, or else she'll never come back. She'll be like, well, that was it.
Yeah,
no more.
No more chain cutting.
Yeah,
Kate.
she hit me in the head and now it's over. So this guy, is that where it goes? On that side, I'll put one more on this side over here. So we've distributed the chain kind of evenly. Okay? Come on, there we go. So there's the chain that's on there, okay? Now, if I were adding some textile to this, I don't know, this might be completely the wrong thing, but let me see if it works or not. I don't know. It might be wrong. I can't stop cutting this stuff with the wire cutters. Old habits die hard. Let me slide these guys through there and see. I'm just auditioning these. I don't know. I don't know if that leather adds anything or not. The leather might have to be, maybe I'd wrap all this together.
Yeah, I was going to say if it was tighter
Yeah,
together.
if it was tighter together. But you guys get the idea. I'm going to take it out. Now, what I'm going to do here is, you can see my loop kind of got a little misshapen. So I'm going to tell it who's boss here. Now, what I do is we're going to just come in, pull those 2 legs up. And can you also see how I've kind of pulled that wire, and I'll put it down so you guys can see it, how I pulled that wire into more of an oval than a round.
Oval is good.
It's better because then it'll come up.
Yeah, sometimes I'll actually crimp it.
Right, a little tighter.
Yeah, make it oval shape.
I'm just going to go with what Allie put out here. Let's see how this pony
This
bead.
might be too big.
Might be. Maybe this one.
Maybe use that. Yes, because one side has a smaller hole.
It has a smaller hole,
You might
right?
be able to, yeah.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe the shadow too.
Let's see. Let's put this guy in. Yeah, look at how nice
there
that
you
chain
go.
looks.
That's perfect.
And you can see at the top of this sand cast, things are moving around a little bit. So then you want to decide how you want to stabilize, I guess.
Sort of fill in the channel.
So it doesn't move all over. These are 6/0 gilding mat, one of my faves.
Me too.
I'm still working with 2 strands. And I'm going to put these 2 strands. And look at how nicely that holds it. Can you guys see that? And then maybe, for fun, I love the king size shadow. And then one more, because again, that king size shadow has a big hole.
Got a hole too.
So we've got to stabilize it. That's not a bad tassel for
Perfect.
just off the cuff.
Yep.
It would make a great earring. It would make a great end of a lariat.
Yeah. Oh, perfect for a lariat.
Now I'm just going to wire wrap it, and I'm going to pretend that these 2, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang it off that jade ring. That's what I'm going to do.
Perfect.
So you could do a couple of things. You could bring it together and do your wire wrap loop, or I could come in, get this jade ring that Allie has here, bring them both through. This is how a lot of people did their wire wrapping around those discs, right? I'm going to come in, I'm going to squeeze this with my fingers, but you could squeeze it also with your plier. That neck is going to be just a hair long, so I'm going to make it just a little shorter. There we go. And I'm going to get my plier in there, and I'm going to kind of pull it so that when I wire wrap, I don't know if you guys can see that, that the wire wrapping will start from the middle of the disc, not over to one side or the other. It'll make it sit, I think it'll make it sit nicely. So now I can just wire wrap with my fingers, wire wrapping these two strands as if they were one. And I'm going to go from the bottom of the disc and down. And now to make that neck look a little bit bigger so it is more in tune with the piece, just visually, give it some visual weight, I also wire wrapped up towards the disc. Now I'm going to give it a little hug with my pliers to make sure that everything is even. Tighten and tighten. And clip it away. And again, clip it away. Kind of pull that out a little bit. Clip it away. Then I can use my bent chain to just hug that wire right around. See that bent chain, how that curved? Sorry, I was a little out of frame there. Let me get it a little bit bigger. As I bring that bent chain nose around, those bent chain are like little fingers that stand in for my fingers. So there we have it.
Perfect.
It's not too bad.
No, actually.
It's pretty nice.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, not too bad.
Good.
All right. I'm proud of myself.
That's just
pretty good.
Random pieces, that you put together.
Yeah, and Jessica's saying you could add some wire wrap drops at the end of the
drops
chains
would be pretty
for another layer. Exactly.
Yeah, drops would be great.
You could use, it would really look great, Allie, like you did with these guys.
Oh, yeah.
I could add this. I'm in love with this idea of the little serpentine discs, and it kind of echoes that disc up on the top.
It does.
You could do that little bottom. You could also use this guy, these coins.
The coins would be great.
Really pretty. Look at how pretty that would look on the bottom.
Isn't there an opal,
the wood opal
would look great with this combo.
Great. It would look great. And you can make some. I could get some more tassel legs in here. I could get a couple more.
Chain.
And I could have a couple of these being a little shorter and a couple a little longer. I think it'll be great.
Yeah, you could give it
a little bit of heft to it. Can someone grab that? Thank you, Chris. Someone called, and you guys can all hear the phone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There, 7. Yeah, 7 tassel legs is what I did here. So you could get a little, however many tassel legs you like with that. It would look good.
Yeah, looks great.
So yes, I got to design one tassel for the challenge. It's good. I like it. So we have a couple more things that I want to show you guys. So next week you'll see these pieces. I'm going to be doing these pieces that Janice made. We're going to work on memory wire. It's going to be amazing. It's really I say this about every project of Janice's, but I say again, she outdid herself yet again with these memory wire pieces.
Beautiful.
It's great. You can go to, in preparation, you can look at our other memory wire projects. You can go right to beadshop.com and look at the other memory wire is back projects. Kim is asking what chain I used. I think I used this one's Simplicity. And Karen, do you remember which one? That whatever that Rolo one is. I'll look it up real quick.
Keyhole, little key.
I think it's little keyhole. Yep, I think is what it is. Keyholes, I believe. Let me just double check.
I'm pretty
If
sure.
I go under Shop, Components and Findings, and then Chain comes up. I literally just got it out of our scrap chain box, so I did not prepare at all. But any of our chains will work for this. Sandbar would look great with the little sandbar.
That one would be great.
Connection. long and short, simplicity, which is what I used here. And then I think, what did we say it was? Keyhole. Keyhole chain. Let me just double check and see. It's not keyholes, it's little, is it little keyholes?
Tiny.
Oh, let me see. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm going to double check and see what this is, because I don't want to leave you hanging. We have a bin. I don't know if you guys do this, but we have a bin of all of our little bits of chain. And if you don't have a bits of chain bin that you can randomly throw your stuff in, it's really great because it'll allow you to design on the fly like I did. And we should have trio would look great for this. As I'm scrolling through our chain, seeing what would look good. Trio would be really good. The 2 lanterns chain would look amazing. Little keyhole would look great. I know it's coming. We can get Cara over here to see. Endless Love would be a good one.
Satellite would be pretty too.
Satellite would be really pretty. It's Run Along is what it is.
Oh, wow.
That's what it is. An old classic. We Run Along. It's a great one. So that's what it is. Little keyholes and regular keyholes look like it too a little bit, but those will be good ones for it. It's really, really good. So let me show you the last thing before we log off. So Allie, the one that you did with the Kate's mix, with the what did we call that mix? The Journey or tribal journey or something?
It may be that. So it has a small tassel on one side, but
you did. I'm going to get a little bit bigger here, and I love the contrast of what you did. I mean, look at. I mean, this is just. This
was patterned after Janice's favorite, Helen Dietz.
Yes.
So I did it's a Helen Dietz.
Very Helen Dietz-esque, and with Helen, more was better.
Right, lots of tassels, all different lengths.
Yeah, your tribute to Helen.
And this is one before I got the mix. So this was the tribal
and look
journey.
At this one. Here.
And then this one is so that if you were not able to get the mix, you could do the same kind of thing.
Right. Let me get this pad here real quick. There you go.
You could do the same thing.
Yeah.
With this.
And look at how using this serpentine knot so that one of these goes down the front and one of these goes down the back. It's really great. Now I did, if you look at the China, the tribal knot, no, what am I trying to say? What did I call that Facebook Live? Maybe it was the Journey working with
the Journey, maybe.
The Journey, maybe.
Something like that.
It was working with that kit. And so I did mine very similar to what Allie did here with this one. Yeah. And so using
because I used yours.
The tassels in front and back. So one of these goes down the front, one of these goes down your back, or you can wrap it around like a lariat, and loop it through. So you can take an opportunity to create a tassel in your piece almost anywhere. What I love here is, Allie, you used this old vintage component and you set it on its side.
Again, turning it around.
Turning it on its side.
Turn it over.
Yeah, and I think it's a great way to look at components that maybe kind of stump you. You can see mine, I did mine long like this, but you turned yours around so it gave you an opportunity for tassels here, for tassels through here, and then it goes up and into the bracelet, into the necklace here.
Right.
Which is great.
And this bead, the same thing with the large bead, turn it. So
right, this guy here, right. Where mine was up and down, yours is this way. Just like you did with that other piece, with that serpentine piece.
The same kind of
same
thing.
way, same concept there, which is gorgeous.
Always
it's gorgeous.
I
wanted to share a couple of things that I brought also from my stash. Some that you guys have seen before, and maybe some that might be new. And we're almost done for today. Those particular necklaces, Beth, they aren't really project pages, though maybe Karen will take some photos. They'll be in the notes, the episode notes. Karen will take some photos of Allie's pieces, so we'll have them in the episode notes. This is a piece long ago. I did this back when Beadshop was a brick and mortar store, and we would do a class called advanced stringing, we would call it. Sometimes we'd call it, I don't know. We'd call it so many different things, I can't even remember. But this is taking a focal bead, some kind of focal bead, could be any kind, and starting at the bottom with a tassel, and then working your way up so that, I'll get rid of that one, so that you can see, it kind of goes here, kind of like the tribal necklace I did. You'll see it over in projects. It's called, I'll tell you. If I go to projects and I go to necklaces and I scroll down, it's the chunky tribal collar, kind of a similar way in the way that I strung this. But this is a great one to kind of do a lot of stash busting with all of your different pieces. And then I wanted to show you guys this one here.
That one is incredible.
Now this is a tassel I made a million years ago, probably. Wow. And I don't know if anyone out there remembers, in the old days of kind of before there were online bead stores, there were online bead stash swaps, and it was on, I don't know, like the Yahoo groups or something. It was way old school. So I was on these bead swaps, and the bead swaps would have these themes, and you would send in, my mom will remember this, you would send in a bead to the swap coordinator, and then the swap coordinator would coordinate all the beads out, and she'd send them out. And so this theme obviously was flowers, right? That was the obvious theme. So when I would get these beads back, you would have this random pairing of all of these beads that didn't really go together, right? So you had to unify them in some way. I can't even remember the beads that I sent out in the swap. I can't even remember what my beads were. So with these that were the flower beads, I wanted to unify them in some way. And so, yeah, I mean, it has all of these really old, like Chinese, the Chinese ceramic. It has these old, like lucite, little things here. But so what I did was I took this mix and I made it uniform. This is all random here, right? So you could string random, all of this. The AOL bead swaps, my mom does remember. That's what it was. That's right. Back in, I don't know, 95 maybe. Maybe it was 95, 96. It's an old piece, 20 years old now. And so you can unify these. And I'll zoom in. Yeah, I'll zoom in on it a little bit more, Ginger. There you go. So you can see it a little bit better. You can unify your randomness up here by selecting some things that you then string all along the bottom. So I had some of these old, I don't know, leaf beads, some old German glass from my stash, and then I used a seed bead that unified everything here. So this is a great way to kind of use a mix, right? Use a random, go to the bottom of your bead box and don't even look at what you're doing.
No.
Pull, and you can see there's no color story
they don't
in this mix
to each other at
all. And let me get in super tight so you can see those beads. They don't relate. You've got old, I think this is a plastic rose bead from like the 70s. But my my rule for this is that I had to use every bead that the swap sent me.
Right.
I had to use every bead. There was no tossing them out. So I had to use them. So that's why these plastic rose beads
But you tied it all
are in there. It's tied all together.
With the green and the green.
Right.
I mean, it goes.
Yeah. And I did that same wire wrapping technique. I just used some old, Janice will recognize these old Peking glass beads from here. You can see there's my wire wrap. Let me get it a little bit bigger. There's my wire wrap. And it came down, the wire wrap came down through here. All of this was connected onto the wire wrap, pulled up through all of these beads, up through here, just like I did with that chain. And then these, I think I even got these weird little charms in the wrap, or the swap, so I had to use them. That was my rule that I did. And so I made tassels with all of these bead swaps. I have a yellow one, I have a pink one, I have a blue one. But it was kind of fun. It was kind of fun to create. So I would really say that jump in and create. We really want to see how creative you can get with those tassels. We'd love to see them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even more than we already got. Let's
bring
them on.
Great. Yep, bring it on. So it looks like, hang on, I'm going to see. I know that the feed, the Facebook feed may have come off. So I'm going to bring that around. I'm going to see if we can get it back here. There we go. Let's see if that might come back on.
It just dropped off.
Yeah. So I still think we're broadcasting. Let me see if I can get that feed back on. I'm not sure why that went, but there we go. I think we're back on. Yep.
We're back.
We're back. I think we're back on both. Am I right? Somebody over on the Facebook feed tell me that that it's going. Yep, there we are. We're back. We're back. We're back. I can teach and
wow.
I can IT all at the same time.
Wow.
I think we're back. Yep, we're live. Sorry about that, you guys. That little bit of a glitch. Sometimes when we're out in the main room, we have a little bump in the road. But let me know. Comment over on. Yep, it's all saying it's back.
It's all working.
Great. We're back.
Good.
Perfect. Okay, so that is it, you guys. I think we did it. Yeah. I'm gonna move the camera back around. We've got a couple of things though before we move the camera.
Yeah, it might be easier.
Did you guys open your newsletter today? Did you? Well, if you did, you saw that we have a gift with purchase today. And I put Allie right on the spot as soon as she walked in.
I walked in the door.
And I said, Allie, get to work. And I said, but she's always game. So she created, I'm going to pull this out. And this is a great start for your own tassel. Okay. Allie made a mix. Allie and Cara went out and about. And they made this really cool mix that has Padres. I'm going to get really close so you guys can see it. It has Padres, it has ADOTs, it has some shadows
even.
Yep. So this is Allie's custom mix. A great way to start a tassel. And every order today, okay, that is placed with 35 or more today on the 17th, you put Allie's mix in the notes and we'll toss this mix in. Okay, so if you shop today, it's the 17th of July, go make your order, put in Allie's mix in the shipping notes, and we will throw one in. It's a nice big 10-gram tube. It's a lot. I mean,
it'll make a nice tassel.
It'll make a nice tassel.
Yeah.
And then you'll make it, and then you'll post it on the bead table.
Please.
Yeah, it'll be great. I love this. I'm going to steal one for myself. I'm just gonna put one on my desk. Just look at it. No, I love it. I love it. So that's what's going on today. So I don't need to put all these back. I'll just put this lid on. So if you make an order of 35 or more today on beadshop.com, put in Allie's Mix in your shipping notes. We'll toss that mix in. Now, if you're watching this later, okay, and you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't get this, or I'm watching it too late to get the mix, it's okay. Go sign up for our newsletter over on beadshop.com. We do all kinds of nutty things over there through our newsletter. Giveaways and sales and I don't know, all kinds of stuff we do. So if you miss it, go to beadshop.com, sign up for our newsletter. We keep all of your info private, and you'll get some good deals and stuff that way. So I'm going to move this camera back. Let me see if I can do it with a minimal amount of fuss. We'll see. It might all end in tears. I'm telling you, 2-camera shoot. It's coming. I promise.
Soon.
Let's see. So, Karen, I'm going to need some help. Grab that whole thing there.
Give it the whole plug.
I want the whole plug. Karen's going to take it that way. Okay. I'm going to take this off. Don't go too far yet. I'm going to take it off.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah, no, you're okay. It doesn't need to go far.
Okay.
I'm just going to, you guys will look at the pretty studio there. And I'm going to come around. And we'll have Drea put the, Ginger asked the recipe for the Allie mix. We'll have Drea put the recipe in the episode notes. So no worries. Would you flip the iPad towards me, Allie? Please and thank you. There we go. Perfect. There she is. And we'll just do this. Allie's working with that big cord. We can just leave it right on the table. It's all right. There we go. There we are. Look at, whoops. Where's my production assistant? There we go. Well, I hope you guys had a good time. I had a great time.
We have a disaster, but it
we
was
do.
a fun time.
We had a big disaster
it was a
there.
fun time.
It was really great. I hope you guys all enjoyed everything that you that we watched. Yeah, nice behind the scenes shot. You got to see the rest of the studio.
See everything.
It was really good. Yes, we had a great time. So everyone's saying hi to Karen. Everyone's saying hi to Karen. Yeah, Karen did a great job. So again, thanks you guys so much for joining us today. Again, you know, the Allie's Mix is up. The episode note's going to be pretty epic. Drea will put in some great info there, and we'll make sure that that Allie's Mix recipe is in there as well. But it's great. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for everything.
For all of this.
It was really good.
It was
Let me
good.
put this little camera thing down so
Yep,
it's not right in your
really
face,
not.
so I can see you. Just a note on next week, you guys. We are moving, just for next week, our Facebook Live broadcast, our Beadshop Live broadcast, is going to be at the end of the week. So when we usually do Free Tip Friday, instead I am doing this really great memory wire project from Janice. So that date, so next week, what we've got on the 24th of July, that Wednesday, there will be a best of Beadshop live broadcast.
Fun.
I want you guys to brush up on memory wire, so we'll be posting that one. So you guys will be watching that one on Wednesday. And then on Friday, the 26th of July, that's when I will be doing a special Beadshop Live Friday edition for these two wonderful pieces that Janice made, and it incorporates macrame and beading. I can't wait. They're really, really, really fun. This Friday there will be a Free Tip Friday. I'm going to be doing something fun and exciting. What it is, I don't know yet, but I'll think of it between now and Friday. And so just a reminder, no Facebook Live next Wednesday. I will be out of the office and on a little adventure. As some of you guys know, my mom is having a little procedure done on her foot earlier in the week, so I'll be with my dear mama and on the road to Wellville for her. So all good thoughts go out to my mom.
Lots of good thoughts.
So yeah, that's it. That's all I have. That's all you have.
That's all I've got. That's it.
And the fulfillment team is like, get off of our get
like
off of our lunch table. We've got to eat.
It's lunchtime.
That's right. So thanks so much, you guys. Again, thank you for your incredible generosity.
You're very welcome.
Thank you. A last big thank you to the Beadshop design team.
Yes, thank you to all the contributors too.
And our members of the bead table for making this beaded tassel lookbook so incredible. So if you haven't done so already, go out and download it. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate. You know where we are. Just shoot us an email. All right. Okay.
Signing off.
Yep. Signing off, and we'll see you. We'll see you back soon.
You will see me.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
See you guys.